Traveling Pills.
Mongers Market in Bridgeport,
Yes.
Connecticut. And it's open only on Sundays from
Yes.
10 to 4.
Yes.
10 to 4. The parking is insane. And I knew this because it was my second time going. So I had already been like, we need to try to get there as close to open. And I think it was like 10:30. It was 30 minutes past 10.
Yeah.
No
Slammed.
parking. Nothing. And like where it says don't park, do not park.
Yeah,
you
they
will
were
get a
ticketing,
ticket.
yeah.
You will get a ticket.
They were like raking in their revenue that
Yes,
weekend.
and
or
they
that
do it
Sunday.
every Sunday. It's like their thing. So like, don't park where it says not to park.
Yeah.
We ended up, I don't know, like a couple blocks.
Like, yeah, maybe a block and a half. At
Yeah,
most.
and I like was like double checking to make sure there weren't any signs, and
Yeah.
it had snowed that weekend, so of course we were all like, we're not wearing the correct shoes for this.
No, we were like trudging through the snow.
As we're
in
like
my Uggs.
walking.
Yeah.
But it's like an old, and I don't want to go into too much because I know that you researched a little bit, but it's an old warehouse.
Yeah, it's an old warehouse.
It's an old warehouse. Oh, an old warehouse.
Yeah.
And inside
and
this
like
giant.
Yeah.
It's $3 to get in unless it's like 2:00, and then I think
It's free
or
after
something
2,
too.
yeah.
And it's cash.
Yep.
Um.
You can pay, like, once you're inside and, like, want to purchase things, most places take card.
Yes.
But $3
Yeah.
cash to get inside.
$3 cash to get into the warehouse. Anyone under like I think it was 4 is free.
Yeah.
There are bathrooms. There are porta potties.
Yeah.
So be prepared.
Yeah.
But they do have them. So if you have to go to the bathroom, also they give you a ticket. So if you have to like
Run
go
out.
out or put something in your car, like you can just show the ticket and go back in there.
Yeah.
They don't charge you again.
Yeah.
But so much stuff, like
It's
everywhere.
And you don't, like, every time you, like, turn a corner or around another aisle, you just realize, like, how many more aisles upon aisles there are. Because it's kind of laid out in a grid. So you can kind of, like, walk up and down, like, pathways.
Right. Yeah.
Sometimes you end up in a dead end, and then you have to, like, loop back out. So it's a little you get a little lost.
And you guys left me in charge because I'd been before.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is like the neurospicy leading the neurospicy right now. Like, I'm still overwhelmed, guys, even though I've been
I mean,
before.
that was great because we were all on the same page. Because, first of all, it's just, there's a lot of people.
Yeah.
There's so much stuff. It's just like sensory overload.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
for sure. So you just like, I mean, there's no way we saw everything.
No.
Like, even though I feel like we went up and down every aisle, I feel like there's no way we saw everything.
We didn't see everything. There was in fact,
there
there was
was
a
an
whole
upstairs.
section that upstairs. It's a smaller upstairs.
Yeah.
But there was, and we both all looked at each other because I asked because I didn't want to be like, we're leaving.
Yeah.
But I was like, oh, do you guys want to go over there? Being like, look, I'll go.
Yeah.
But I don't want to.
Well, I was so, like, crowded and people, at
I
the
think-
stairway, I was like, no.
If I remember correctly, before you even said no, Layla kind of did one of these. And then looked back down. And as you're saying no, she's just like...
No. We were all on the same page.
So we were out, and I think I even was like, oh, okay, good. Because,
Yeah.
like, I would have if you wanted to, but I was done.
Because we probably spent
We were there for a few hours.
at least a few hours.
But I was just also like, I will throw this out there. If you are neurospicy, so whatever that means for you.
Yeah.
It is a lot.
Yeah, it's kind of claustrophobic, but not.
There's a lot of stimulation.
Yeah, it's open because it's super high ceilings.
Yeah, and there's
wide
music
aisles.
playing. There's people talking. There's different things going on in each booth.
Like they're
I was gonna say cubicle, so thank you for saying booth.
booth. Yeah, it's kind of so it's basically a collection of collectors. And there's some people who
whether they make
things,
it, or things they're selling that's like vintage.
Yeah,
antique. Like there's just like a lot of vintage clothing.
Yes.
Vintage cameras, typewriters.
Yeah, like anything you can imagine. They have. They also have a lot of like refurbished like doors or like pieces of metal.
They have like drawers and drawers of like different antique knobs, which I have yet to go through, and at some point I need to go and know that is the thing I'm doing.
Yes,
because I would love to see if they have anything like what we have in our house, so that if there's ones that aren't working anymore, I can like replace them.
Yeah,
because
it would be such a cool place to like be refinishing a house, like doing some stuff to like get like those
absolutely,
sorts of
and I'm
things.
sure people do. They have the old, and we talked about this. They have the old libraries.
Oh, like the
What
card
is that?
catalogs.
Yeah, but is that what it's called? A
Yeah.
card catalog? Okay, I thought it was called something else.
The Dewey Decimal System.
Thank you.
Yeah. That's the system, but those were the card catalogs.
Okay, yeah. So they have a lot of those that you can get, which I have always wanted one of these, and here's why I want one of them. My aunt has one.
Oh.
When they were clearing out and redoing the library at the school she worked at forever, they were just getting rid of them.
Right.
And so she took one, and they are actually the perfect size for wine bottles.
Oh.
So they like a regular average size
wine
bottle.
That. That's adorable.
And I'm like, that's such a great thing. This is
Yeah.
awesome.
I love that. And
Yeah.
they're so cute. They had so many
But
of
like,
them.
I'm like, can I just like stumble upon one? Because like, and understandably, but they sell them for a lot of money.
Yeah.
A lot of money. So they have those.
I will say though, like, as far as like, you could, like, some stuff you could tell was like really high end and expensive, but they had a lot of things that were very reasonable.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, you could absolutely go there and find some treasures for very, very cheap.
Even like furniture too, vintage
Yeah.
furniture. I guess like my whole reasoning saying like, you know, be prepared is like, we did get to the end of the day, and I was just like, I knew we had other stuff, and I was like, I am burnt.
Yeah.
I am burnt.
Need some food.
I'm overstimulated.
Yeah. I've seen all I can see.
So I say this with the like, prepare yourself.
Yeah.
Because
It's a lot.
It's a lot.
And it's like, if you want to like see a majority of it, you're going to spend a couple hours.
And honestly, and I have done it with Mary Elizabeth and Gwen. Did I have Mary Elizabeth with me? I might not have. I might have just been Gwen. But you can have kids there.
Yeah. I mean, there were kids
there. There were kids there. I remember going with Gwen, and I was exhausted at the end. So, like, if you are someone who's overstimulated, maybe don't go with your 10-year-old. Because
I would also just be concerned because there's so much glass and like
she was good. She didn't. We were on a mission, so when I took her, it was like a year ago. Because she ended up buying her father's Christmas present there, and it was like a metal skeleton cutout fish.
Hilarious.
And she was like, "That's what I'm getting him." I'm like, "You don't want to anything else?" Nope. I'm like, so just like, because like, you know, like the Garfield when he would eat the fish and it would be like the head and the tail and the skeleton. Yeah, tin cut out.
Yeah.
That's what she gave him for Christmas last year.
I love kids and their choices. I love it. It's not like the most kid-friendly place. Unless you have a kid who's like really into thrifting, then they would love it.
Yeah, but it was still, it wasn't too cold. It was a little chilly.
It was a little chilly, but that's okay because I was like, we're walking from the car, so you have to have your jacket, and then you don't have to carry it, and like, so that worked out.
I think because I'm always hot, I ended up taking my coat off because I was like, now I'm too hot. But it definitely, like, if you're someone who gets cold, you're going to leave your coat on. Yeah. But it wasn't like, oh, I'm going to freeze in here.
No, and it wasn't like they pumped a heater on and you were like, oh.
Yeah.
Like sometimes.
But it's an old warehouse, so like I get it. I get it.
Like they had like heat vents blowing to keep it from being like, because it was snowing out.
Yeah, exactly. So you got an old, like a movie reel?
Yeah, it's like the reel that you would like, some fuzz. A reel that like the film would go on.
And really cool, like old. Yeah. I know you were talking about putting it up there
on the wall. I just need to get like a sturdy enough hook.
Tappan got this really pretty vintage necklace. I didn't end up getting anything, but I was really called to, and I'll get into more of like the stuff we were looking at in a minute, but there was this locket.
Oh, yeah.
With the two like little girls. I was very drawn to it.
Yeah, it was like a little pin, right?
Yes.
Brooch?
Yeah, brooch. And I took a photo of it, and I was very drawn to it, and I was like so tempted to buy it, but then there was part of me that was like,
do I want to bring two little girls home?
I feel like this is not, like, I feel like it's calling me, which means that probably not good.
Yeah.
Like, there's the calling me, like, and then there's calling me, like, there's something going on here.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm just going to photograph it.
Yeah.
And if it's meant to be and we go back and it's there, then I'll reconsider this idea.
Like, let me
did Layla get anything?
I don't think she did.
I don't think so either.
I don't think so.
There's so much
Oh, no,
stuff.
she got a scarf.
Oh, yes, that's right.
Like
that really pretty silk scarf she got. That's right.
That's right.
That's right. So I was the only one. I walked away with free soap.
Oh, yeah.
Which is what I pulled out of my
Joe
purse
Malone.
the other day. Yeah. So, yeah, there's just a lot of stuff. You could spend hours there. We were there for a couple hours.
We were there for a couple hours, and we, like... You know, except for you, we all bought like something, but we weren't necessarily digging through things. We weren't.
You know what we should
kind of
do?
Browsing more.
We should go back again, well, no matter what, we're going to go back again. But we should go back and go at 2 o'clock.
Oh.
When, like, most of the people have probably gone.
Yeah.
Because, like, when they close up the shop for the week, like, they don't take their stuff out.
No.
They just, so, like, yeah, maybe there's going to be some stuff that we missed that got picked. But,
right.
like, I think it'll be quieter.
Yeah, I'd be curious.
And maybe not as overstimulating.
My only question about that is, like, what time did we leave? Because when we got there was no line to get in. And when we left, the line was out the door.
Well, it was, like, 10:30 when we got there. And we were there for, like, 2 hours. So 12:30.
So yeah, maybe by 2.
2, it'll be quieter. We'll try it sometime.
Yeah.
We'll try it.
And I wonder if, like, it's a hard out at 4, if they're, like, over the loudspeaker, like, everyone out, like, we're going, or if they kind of are, like, if they, like, slowly shuffle you out.
Maybe they do like at the bar, like,
yeah,
you've got 30 minutes.
Yeah. Countdown. Because that would be hard to, like, find everybody, to get everybody out. It's such a big space.
Yeah, and then there's, like, the vendors, too.
Yeah.
And I know we mentioned on this briefly, most vendors will do cash or Venmo. Some of them have the Apple Pay.
Yeah.
I feel like Venmo was the most prominent.
Yeah, I feel like everybody has some form of, like, Venmo or Apple Pay or something
Which is nice because, like, I don't have cash on me.
Yeah.
Like, almost ever.
Yeah. I paid with a card for mine.
Yeah.
So.
In fact, to get into the building, because I never have cash on me, I took $2 out of my husband's childhood piggy bank. Because I was like, do you have cash on you? And he was like, no. And I was like, was it $2 or $3? Whatever it is.
Yeah.
$3, I think.
Yeah.
$3. I was like, I'm going to take it from the pig. And he was like, it's fine. So I took it from the pig so that I'd have cash on me.
Like,
but I, like, took enough out because I knew one of us was not. I think it was Tappan who ended up not having cash on her.
Yeah.
So I got her on that one. But, yeah, so, like, if you need to purchase something, if you want to, the ability is, like, it's easy to do it. It's just that getting into the building that you have to have cash. Yeah. Or know somebody who has cash.
Yes, in that case, yes.
But to go into, like, some of the things that we took photos of, like, the things that drew us in.
Well, we definitely, I feel like I at least went in there because I do so many of the haunted objects, was, like, just spotting all of the dolls.
Oh my gosh.
They just, like,
that one photo Tappan took of, it was like the stand, and it just had all.
Oh, that's my video.
You took it?
Yeah.
Oh, it was a video. I thought Tappan took it. Okay.
Yeah.
Fine. You took it. I don't
know. The top of it says for sale, and underneath it they had written haunted on it.
Yes. And, like, it was dolls and doll heads, right?
Yes. Yeah. And it was at this booth that was all, like, very gothic, like, Halloween, like, horror themed stuff, and then they had this giant shelf of,
I don't know why I thought, okay, you took
dolls.
the video of that. Yeah. There's one too, and I pointed this one out, where it was that, like, vintage, probably 50s doll in the red, just sitting alone in the chair. And I was like, and I still, when I see the photos, I'm like,
it's just like.
And I think either I or you, like, zoom in on the doll. I think we both did.
Because we were both like.
Because we both looked at each other. Like, we both saw it at the same time.
Yeah,
and, like.
Because it was, like, at this, like, really nice, like, very, like, curated booth. And then just this, with, like, random doll.
It was all, like, Art Deco furniture.
Yeah.
And then just this random.
That made no sense. Doll.
Like, doll, yeah. Sitting in the chair. And I was just like, are we both seeing this?
Yeah.
There was the teddy bear.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
And again, like, just random.
Yeah. We just, like, kept, there was one in the curio cabinet, that, like, little baby doll at the bottom. There was just, like, everywhere I turned, I was like, there's another one.
So creepy.
Yeah.
And then, like I said, when we were in that one booth with all the jewelry, and it had all the vintage jewelry, and Jen was looking at that necklace that was a very beautiful necklace that she got. It's like sterling silver and plated gold. Yeah. And you could definitely see that it was, like, some sterling, because I was like, Jen, just buff it. Like, it's, because she was like, oh, it's kind of dull. And I'm like, no, it just needs to be buffed. And the woman even showed her, and it, like, right away was, like, sparkly and gleaming. And then it had, like, these pretty crystals on the inside.
Yeah,
anyways,
it was like a little kind of pendant.
Yeah. And we were like, so we were looking at all the jewelry, and I saw that little brooch of those two girls Probably early 1900s. So there was the little brooch with the two girls. Like I said, I think it was like probably early 1900s kind of thing.
Yeah.
And like it definitely was like, you need me, come buy me. And then I was like, I feel like this is going to end up on one of our episodes.
It's going to like move or something.
Yeah, I'm like, that's not happening today. Do you remember that table?
Yes.
It was an old jail cell door.
Yeah.
So that became the tabletop, and they put like a glass
topper
on it.
Yeah, and like built like a wood frame around the
edge. And it had like the butcher block.
Yes.
It was so cool.
It was really
so cool.
Yeah.
And like that was the same weekend we went to Harry's jailhouse.
Yes.
So it was kind of like, oh, look at the jail door table. Yeah. That's really cool. They should have this at their place, at the restaurant.
Yeah, they need that.
If you are in the need for vintage Pyrex.
Oh my gosh, so much.
So much vintage Pyrex. To the point that I texted my sisters because, like, when we were in Vermont for our honeymoon last year, we ended up some flea market and they had like all this Pyrex, and I had, per usual, texted my sisters, and my younger sister was like, "Oh, get me that bowl, mine broke," and it was like a set that she had like vintage in a color, so she was like, "Get me." I'm like, okay.
I need that one thing.
Yeah, so I always text them whenever I see Pyrex because one of them, if not myself, needs Pyrex.
I love vintage Pyrex.
So there was like cute. A lot of that. Definitely, probably some haunted things.
Yeah, I think everything like some antiques.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. I definitely got vibes. I mean, I walked away overstimulated. Between whatever was calling my name and the noise and all the things in the shop, like, I was tired. Yeah. My little soul was tired.
Yeah.
But I know do you want this?
Oh,
by
sure.
the way?
I'll steal this.
It's a little bit easier. I know that there was like a little bit of history. I know it was like a blurb of stuff that you found because it's an old warehouse building.
There wasn't a ton of there wasn't a lot of like
Pitney and Bull.
Oh.
It wasn't Whitney, it's Pitney and Bull.
Wow, that was impressive. I would never have remembered that.
Oh my gosh, when you're editing it, please leave it like that. And that is how ADHD works.
The brain.
Oh my goodness, that was right up there with oh where has my baby where has my baby gone? And like either of us could have easily just looked it up and we were just like no,
I gotta
like
remember.
refusal. And we're sitting at dinner with my parents and I just blurred out oh my god, oh no, Jen.
I was like, come on, you can do it.
Oh no. And once again I want to say Smashing Pumpkin and it's not Pearl Jam.
Thank you.
Pearl Jam. I just blurted out in the middle of conversation with my parents, and you go, "Oh yeah!" And my parents look at the two of us like, "What just happened?"
Like, it makes sense to me.
Yeah, Pitney and Bull.
Okay, I would not have remembered that.
It's a very known like company in Connecticut.
Okay,
so take it away.
So this is just a little bit like about the building. We are a collection of diverse mongers selling vintage, industrial, salvage, and antique items in a 75,000 square foot.
Yes.
Refurbished. It's a factory. It's a refurbished factory.
Yes.
Our extensive, eclectic inventory includes furniture, lighting, architectural elements, and clothing, and is always changing. It's free after 3 p.m.
3, okay. So like an hour then you would have. So not 2. Strike that.
Yeah, but close. We were close. So this is just a little bit how Mongers Market got started.
Okay.
Local gem Mongers Market was recently recognized as one of the nation's best home store experiences by none other than House Beautiful. Only a handful of years ago, it took a man with a vision and sheer determination to make all come together. After running a successful antique gallery in Stamford, Connecticut.
Okay.
For over 2 decades, owner John Hidden took a look at an old factory building in Bridgeport and envisioned a world of curated goods procured by a collection of diverse personalities and talented mongers. Today, adventurous shoppers have access to about 80 different small business owners operating their own booths under one roof.
Okay.
It takes time to explore throughout 127,000 square feet a vintage halophine lit floor space, explaining why the magazine article named Mongers Market the best place to get lost.
Yes, absolutely. Best place to get lost.
Yep.
For those who don't know, Mongers, the name, is like a salesperson.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you've ever heard of a fishmonger.
Yeah.
I don't know if people know that, so I was like, I should throw that out there.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, like a salesperson.
And it is, you could easily get lost.
Yeah.
It's huge. It's huge. Like, there's parts we didn't see. And I've been there twice now. There's parts I haven't seen.
Yeah.
So.
And the fact that it changes all the time, and you've got all of these vendors who are curating their own personal collections that are changing over time.
Exactly.
Yeah. And this I just kind of love that this is like part of their belief system. The magic of Mongers lies in a group united by a love for old, beautiful things and a basic belief that the planet has enough stuff on it already.
Yep.
No need to make more for landfills.
That's how my house is decorated.
Yeah.
There's like maybe a few new pieces here and there. But like most of my furniture was either family, like it was my grandmother's, or I got it at like a flea market, or I found it on the side of the road.
Yeah. Well, that's like a lot of, you can't see anything in this frame, but a lot of the art in my apartment, like one of my favorite things about living in New York City, and Brooklyn, it's a little easier because it's a little more suburban.
We should do the Brooklyn flea at some point.
Yeah. Yes. People will leave like on the sidewalk, like up against, the buildings, anything that they don't want. So people walking by can pick it up. So that it's donating in the city can actually be really challenging.
I believe it.
Because hardly anyone, if at all anymore, does pickups.
Yeah.
So it can be challenging. So that's a great way if you just like have a couple little things. So like I've found like artwork. I've picked up like a little wooden table. We had, in one apartment I lived in the Lower East Side, we called it the magical windowsill.
Oh, nice.
And everyone in the building, it was like almost like a window seat.
Yeah.
In the hallway, like in the lobby. And everyone in the building, if they had anything that they were getting rid of, they would put it in the magical windowsill.
And then like you could, I
so like
that.
Anytime you came in and out of the building, you would check the windowsill if there was anything. Like I got CDs randomly in the windowsill because
Do people book books sometimes too?
Books all the time.
So cool.
There was always new books. There was a girl who worked in fashion, which was fun when she lived in the building. I caught the tail end of her. The girl that we rented from told me about her.
Yeah,
that she would go to events and get like the free
the
swag
freebie
bags.
Stuff. Yeah,
so she would leave swag bag stuff down there all the time.
Cool.
Yeah,
that's cool.
So I especially love this sentiment of we've already got enough.
Yeah,
like let's not
like
just
reuse
throw
it.
Things
yeah,
in the
use
trash.
it again. So I mean, that was like, even when we bought the house, they were moving across country, the owners. So there was like stuff, they were like, do you want this? So we like took the couch originally that was like, you saw it, like the giant
couch.
It was too big for the space. So I did eventually donate it to a church. There was a church group that came and got it.
Oh, that's nice. That's nice when they come and pick up furniture.
Yeah,
That's
and we had a couch that was downstairs. So it was just like, we didn't buy anything. We just rearranged the furniture that we had. But yeah, I'm notorious for just buying other people's furniture.
Yeah.
One, it's less expensive usually, to be honest. And if it's the old stuff, it is solid.
A lot of the stuff is better quality than like the particle board IKEA
I have
crap.
a wardrobe in our living room that we use as a closet because we don't have a closet on the first floor in our house. And I don't know if there ever was one there, but we don't have one.
Yeah.
And I had gotten that off of Facebook for $100, and it was part of like a $5,000 bedroom set.
Oh wow!
Yeah, and it has like little dings, like, but nothing like that's gonna lose the integrity of it, or like make it so you can't use it, or like make it like ugly to look at. Not that it would have been anyways.
But
so this table is gonna be the end of me, Jen. No, it's not. It's not gonna be the end of me. So. Yeah, I'm all about like reuse. Yeah. So I like appreciate that was their like thought.
That is there, yeah.
Yeah.
So this is just like a little bit more on Hidden, who started John.
Okay.
John. So Hidden's penchants for old things started as a child when he'd accompany his mother and grandmother on antiquing expeditions and frequented junkyards with his brother. He graduated to digging for antique bottles as he got older. It wasn't until he turned 30, though, while working for an auction house in Norwalk, that he realized his fascination for old things could be a job path. Renting a factory in Stamford to serve as an antique center, he kicked off a 21-year start to his new career. When sustaining leases in the area became difficult, he pivoted. That's when the building in Bridgeport caught his attention.
So, like, such a brilliant idea.
Right? Such a great... And, sounds like just the perfect person to, have this beautiful giant vision and execute it. Like, he came from that he was antiquing since he was a child with his mom and grandma and digging through junkyards with his brother. He was grew up to do this job.
He was everything he did in his life brought him to that moment.
Yeah, and that realization of wait a minute, all these things I did growing up could be a job?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. You know what was also interesting about that weekend, and it just popped into my head, and this is more on a personal level for me, was that it was the anniversary of my grandmother's death that weekend. And my grandmother was a school teacher for 30 years and was notorious for doing the snow dance.
Yes.
In fact, the only time it snowed the year Mary Elizabeth, which is her namesake, the only time it snowed that year was the day she was born.
Yeah.
And it was 6 weeks after Grams had passed, a week before her Grams' birthday.
Yeah.
And it was just I knew it was Grams, hello Grams. So anyways, it's the weekend anniversary of Grams' death when we went to this. And we're walking around and there's all these different things.
Yeah.
And my grandmother, whose married name was Bird.
Uh-huh.
Case in point, was a bird lover. So she knew about all different birds and would go bird watching and had all these wood sculpted birds in her house. I unfortunately don't have any of those. I know some of my cousins do, thankfully. And I do have a blue China bird that she had gotten from China.
Oh, cool.
So I have that at least. But anyways, not the point. So we're walking around Mongers and I'm looking at stuff, and all of a sudden, we were in this area, which I think it was where Gwen had gotten the fish the year before, but it was metal signs.
Mm-hmm.
And I look up, and it's this beautiful sign with a cardinal, and it says, "Of course, I wish you were here too."
Aww.
And it was just, and then there was something else again, and I was maybe to anybody else it was just but to me it was Grams saying hello.
Yeah.
I'm still here kind of thing.
Aww,
So
that's sweet.
yeah, it was very, very touching. And I was I see you, Grams. I see you. So, I don't know, we had fun.
Yeah, it was really fun.
We walked away with some things.
Yeah.
And then we went and had some food.
Yeah, which that place...
Yeah, I knew you would love that place.
So good. So we ended up in...
New Haven, back in New Haven.
In New Haven,
and we went to Geronimo's, which is Tex-West, southwestern...
Yeah, Tex-Mex, yeah.
Food. Amazing food. My family-in-law, my mother-in-law, my sister-in-law, my husband and I, and my father-in-law, we go there, all the time. We love it there. The food is so good. There's this, and we got it. There's this margarita. It's this blood orange spicy margarita.
It was so good.
So good. And you can get a picture of it, which just makes it so convenient and dangerous.
Yeah.
I think we all had a nice buzz when we walked out of there.
Yeah. Giant pitcher.
I was a little sad because I wanted you guys to try their guacamole.
Oh, right.
And it was the end of a week, so the new stock hadn't come in yet.
They were out of avocados.
They were out of avocados. So we're definitely going back because their guacamole is amazing.
Yeah. Well, I definitely want to, we were talking about, which maybe we'll talk about on one episode after we go. There's the New Haven wine crawl that you told me about.
It is Flights of Fancy, and they do it twice a year. And we call it the Hogan holiday, because we always go.
Yeah.
And then we always go to dinner afterwards in Geronimo sometimes where we go. Yeah. So when you guys come, we will definitely go to Geronimo.
Definitely gonna.
Flights of Fancy is so much fun too because it's $30, and then it's 20 shops that stay open late. And each shop either has a food item from a restaurant in New Haven or they have wine. It's predominantly wine, but they do have food items.
That's nice.
And you'll get an ounce,
Right, a little taste.
Like a little taste at each, which by the end is like, I mean, it's 20 shops.
Yeah, I'm not drinking 20 ounces.
And you can also, they stay open, so you can also purchase. Like, you can holiday shop, or
that's
like,
fun.
There's one shop on there that is like a soap and lotion shop, and it's all organic.
Nice.
So like, we get all of Mary Beth's oat bar milk from there.
Nice.
Like, we go twice a year, and we get a couple of bars.
Yeah.
But now they recognize us now too, even though we only go like twice a year. Like.
But you're kind of a big group, I feel
like.
Like
we're a big group.
Yeah.
So, and then there's a shop next to it that has just like fun knickknacks, and in the back they have like toddler baby stuff, but in the front they have like trays and soap and candles and cooking books and like just like really fun. And then there's like an art shop. Anyways, I'm going off on a tangent, and we can talk about it more when you guys come too. But Geronimo is one of the places we end up going.
Yeah. Really good. I had some really good tortilla soup that was so good.
And I got their wild mushroom burrito, which was amazing.
That was really good. And then I split some cauliflower tacos.
Those look good.
Those were
they
really
have an
good.
assortment, and I was torn between the mushroom, which I always get, and getting the next time I'll branch out, because those looked really good. And it's not like I'm a picky eater. Like, I'll try everything.
But when you like something, you're like, oh, but I really want that.
Well, that, and like, Tim is not a mushrooms person. And so, like, I don't really cook with mushrooms at home, because it's like, I'm going to make all
of this just for myself,
Occasionally I'll go to Trader Joe's and I'll buy their frozen, like, blend, and I'll just do a little saute of that for me if I want it.
Yeah.
So,
those
like,
are great.
So, like, I have a tendency when I'm out to buy stuff with mushrooms in it.
Ooh, I get to have this right now.
But they have, like, an assortment of tacos. Those looked really good. They have two different types of fish tacos, I want to say. They have a shrimp taco, like pork. Yeah. They have the I think Jen got them the birria ones, which I know Tim loves those. Yeah. Like, those are like Tim's favorite.
Those are so good.
The salsa, which is what we ended up doing, is really good. And the chips are gluten-free. I remember Jen was able to eat them. They're fried separately.
Yeah.
So if you have celiac or Crohn's disease, it's another restaurant where they're very aware and like take caution.
And she like asked, I mean, we had already kind of prefaced like that there were some like things that couldn't be eaten at the table. Yeah. But then even after she took everyone's order, she's like, are any other allergies I need to know about? Yeah. And we're like, no, thank you for asking. She was like, yeah, you wouldn't believe how many people like don't mention it.
And of course I remember this, like, I'm good about saying something about dairy, but sometimes I just, like, don't think about it.
Yeah.
Like, if I don't see sour cream or cheese, I just, like, don't think. And, like, Tim is notorious to be like, is there dairy? Do you know? And I'm like, oh, yeah.
I've definitely done that with you, too. And like, but there's no dairy in that, right?
Yes. And they're like, no. Right. And I remember because that burrito, it has goat cheese in it.
Yeah.
But then comes with sour cream on top. So I was like, no sour cream.
Yeah.
The goat cheese is fine. I can have goat. I can't have cow.
Yeah.
And I get the burrito, and there's no goat cheese in it. And she very nicely, like, went and got me, like, a plate of goat crumble.
Yeah.
So like, that I could, like, have the goat cheese with it. Like, when you can't have something, and then you go someplace and they have what you can have.
Yeah, you're like, but I want it.
Like, I can have it.
I got excited about it.
And so she was very sweet about it, too.
Yeah.
She was just like, not a problem. And, like,
no, she was
came back and, like... Because remember, too, there was that other thing I wanted, and I was like, can they do it with goat cheese instead? And she was like, yeah, I don't think that's a problem. And she comes back, and she was like, you could tell she was frustrated with the chef.
She was just like, I don't know why they won't do it, but they said no.
Yeah.
Sorry.
And it was like a simple switch out.
Yeah, it wasn't even a big deal. You could tell she was like, this is annoying for me, too.
Yeah. So, but the food was really, really good.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a favorite of my family's.
Yeah, it was good. It was really good Mexican food.
Yeah,
sure.
And you guys didn't get to go, but you got to walk past Louis' lunch.
Oh yeah, I know.
So we have to go when it's open.
Yeah.
We have to, because they're not always consecutively open, and they're old. Like, they're the original hamburger of Connecticut.
Yeah.
You cannot get any condiments on it. Like, if you ask for ketchup, they will tell you to leave.
I love it.
So like, yeah, like, you can get sliced tomato.
Oh, okay.
But don't you dare ask for a
ketchup.
condiment. No, they'll be like, leave and give us the food you paid for. Like, you're not wanted here. So you got to see the old building, and that's like a vintage New Haven building. That is an old building. We didn't get to do as much as New Haven as I wanted to, but
it was also
like,
it was
it's
Sunday,
not going anywhere.
So it was like a little slow and quiet.
And honestly, by the time we got done with Geronimo's, I was so done. Like, between being tired from Mongers, and then food coma, I was like, I love you guys. I'm gonna see you soon. So I'm gonna go home because I'm just done.
Yeah,
like my brain was like, words were not firing correctly at that point.
It was time for a nap.
Yes. Yeah, so anyways, like, really, really cool place to go.
Mongers Market.
Mongers Market.
Yes.
Like, super cool. Sorry. Space cadet over here. Super cool place to go. Also Geronimo's if you want a cool place to eat. Going with Mongers Market, like, is it haunted or is it us?
Yep.
It's an old warehouse, so let's just start with that. Yeah. Okay?
An old factory.
Old factory warehouse. So like injuries.
People were working. A lot of people in there.
There is so much going on in this location that if something was moving,
you would have no idea.
You would have no idea.
No.
Unless you were like a vendor and you put something distinctly in one place.
Yeah. And
turned around for a hot second.
Yeah. Even then, there's just so many people. I'd be curious, like, what happens Monday through Saturday? Like, are people, like, working there?
Yeah, like setting up. Like, I bet you on Saturdays they're open as a vendor situation. Like, if you want to come in and, like, get situated. Unless they just open up Sunday morning at, like, 8 a.m. instead for the vendors.
It seems interesting, like, as a business model to only be open one day for so few hours is an it's interesting that they're able to, like, have the upkeep.
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering if that's though also why. Like, maybe it would be more expensive if they had everything on Monday through Sunday.
Yeah, I'm just surprised they don't do Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah.
Like, even like one extra day.
Yeah, or even if it was like every other week in a month, they do Saturday and Sunday. There was a flea market in North Carolina when my parents lived down there that was open every Sunday. But it was like that situation where like every other, like, or the first and last of the month, it was open on Saturday. So then you would get the back-to-back weekends. But anyways, you know, is there also haunted things in this location? Honestly, I'm not going to say no to any of it.
No.
So I'm saying I would put it on the haunted scale.
Yeah, like, I think, like, I mean, we say this about everything, but like, you have so much history in that building. You have so much history in all the things that are inside that building.
Yeah.
I think that if you did a paranormal investigation there,
you
would
probably absolutely find something. Yeah, I agree. And then as far as like Geronimo goes, I couldn't really find anything.
Yeah, I glanced
However,
too. But that building is really like...
The building is old. You didn't go downstairs, but downstairs is like supernatural in itself.
Okay.
And then I did find a few things because New Haven has ghost tours and they have like the pub crawl ghost tour and Geronimo is on the list.
Right.
So I suspect there are probably some stories. Of course, they don't post that because they want you to do
the ghost tour.
Yeah. So maybe at some point we'll do one of the New Haven ghost tours.
Because
I've actually never done New Haven.
Oh, that would be fun.
Yeah.
Because we were sitting right by, they have a really gorgeous giant kind of rounded fireplace.
Yeah,
that's
very
kind
Spanish
of like chimenea feeling.
Yeah, or chimenea feeling. Yeah. So yeah, definitely recommend going for the food. Maybe it's haunted, maybe it's not. Why don't you let us know? Maybe you've had experiences there. But yeah, so that was Mongers Market.
I loved it. It was so fun. It was a fun day.
It was a really good day. We had a good time.
Recommend.
Pause for a minute. Okay, so it's that time. It's that time to play that new game of Who Am I? Cryptid Who.
Yes.
Okay, so again, like I said, I'm still going easy on you.
Okay.
You are going to know this cryptid.
Okay.
But I do think, because you are me and I am you, might
not
have...
Not going to remember the name.
You're going to have some word retrieval issues on this one. So the first major report to me came from farmers in Puerto Rico in the late 80s, early 90s.
Okay.
So relatively new sighting in the span of our life. We'll say.
I have a guess already, but keep going. I'm not going to say it yet.
Like I said, I think, the sightings of me have been reported as far north as Maine and as far south as Chile.
Ooh, okay. The Maine's throwing me off, but okay.
I have large fangs, sharp claws, lizard-like skin, glowing red eyes, and a spine covered with sharp spikes.
Okay, so what I was originally thinking was the chupacabra.
You're right.
Yay!
You are right. You're right.
I wasn't sure. So the lizard skin threw me off because I thought sometimes chupacabra are furry.
It depends. Like the most well known, especially the ones in South America,
because that's what also
tend to be more like this.
Okay.
And then the further north they go, the furrier they get.
Okay. Because that's what threw me off was Maine. I only think of chupacabra as like South America.
Central America. Yeah. No, they see it as far south as Chile and as far north as Maine.
Wow.
And the other three hints, but you got it, was I like to attack livestock, draining their blood, leaving puncture wounds with no other damage. I'm popular in Latin American folklore, and my name translates to goat sucker.
I did know that.
Yeah. I feel like those other ones would have been like a dead.
Yes, that would have sealed the deal. But I was like, you know what? I'm gonna guess early. I'm gonna have a guess.
I was actually shocked because I felt like you were gonna have a word retrieval on that one, like with Mothman, where you were like the bat thing.
The
Which I totally knew where you were going with that. Yeah. But I was like, it's not really bad, but like I see it. I see where you're going.
My brain was there, but not there.
Yeah.
Yes, the chupacabra.
That's a fun one.
Yeah, that was a good one. I like that.
Yeah, I like chupacabra. This is so random, but this is where my brain went. Did you see Disney's Muppets Haunted Mansion?
No.
Okay, you have to watch it. It's like 20 minutes,
Muppets.
maybe 20 minutes, maybe.
Easy.
It was like, you know how like Disney will do like the shorts around holidays?
Yes.
So it was like a couple of Halloweens ago. I think we were still living in Cheshire.
Okay.
And there's like this line where they're like, the line is a candelabra, but for the longest time, because it's a Muppet voice, Gwen thought it was saying chupacabra, and then it was like macabre, and I was like, that does not make any sense. Yeah. And of course, like we'd listen to the lyrics because she made me like play the album for a while,
right?
And I'd be like, and she'd be singing, so all I would hear is her. I'm like, that doesn't. So finally, I like played it when she wasn't around, and I'm like, oh my gosh, it's candelabra, not chupacabra. I'm like, chupacabra macabre? It's a sad chupacabra? What?
Oh my god, I love it.
Yeah. So, definitely watch that. It's a fun, it's a fun one.
Muppets.
It's a fun Muppets.
How do
but
you not?
Yeah. So anyways, as always, we are the Traveling Ghouls.
So hitchhiking ghosts beware.